Like, everybody has a story or an experience, and I find them interesting when they share it. That's the thing. I think that a lot of people are not sharing the things that make them interesting. They don't even think that they are interesting. They don't realize that they're interesting. And I think that's, something that maybe I am also realizing about myself. Like, there are things that I have to share that can benefit others.
The more connection you have with other people, the more avenues of connection, the more potential you have for those really cool experiences where you've helped someone, you've changed someone's life, they've changed yours.
Yep.
It's just like, that's what life's all about, kind
of. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's introduce ourselves.
Okay.
Who are we? Why are we here? Why are we doing this? So, I'll go first.
Okay.
My name is Juliana. I am a certified consulting hypnotist and hopefully soon to be board certified hypnotist. I wasn't sure if the consulting was supposed to be in there or not.
Well, yeah, and you passed the test, and once you submit your other papers, you will be board certified.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be board certified hypnotist or board certified consulting
BCH,
hypnotist.
board certified hypnotist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm that. And also a tarot reader. And what I do is I use hypnosis, hypnotism, and tarot as tools to help people overcome challenges and understand themselves better and be more at peace with who they are and who they want to be.
And I am DC. I am a board certified hypnotist and coach. And I do read human design charts and tarot. And I will do that for people, but I use those as tools for coaching. It's not mandatory that someone I'm coaching has to, be subjected to human design and tarot, but like if they're interested in that, I include that along with hypnosis and various other tools.
Yeah.
So that's who we are.
That's who we are. And you're also my mom.
And you're also my daughter.
Yes. So.
Yay. And business partner.
Yeah. But with that, we just want to get into why we're doing this podcast, and hopefully you can learn a little bit more about us along the way as we just discuss what our purpose is in being here, and maybe even realize that we have some goals we didn't even think we had. Because we haven't discussed this yet, so we don't know why each of us wants to do this, what our individual ideas for where this podcast can go are.
Right. And so we decided that we would come up with topics, but not discuss them with each other first. So that, and there are a few reasons for that. One is Regis Philbin, when he did a morning show with Kathy Lee and then subsequently Kelly Ripa, his wife Joy would fill in sometimes when the co-hosts were on vacation. And when Joy would fill in, he and Joy would make it a point not to talk to each other in the mornings before the show so that their conversation on the show was fresh. And we decided to do that so that our conversation is fresh and authentic. And also because we always have these great conversations where we both get, like aha moments and fresh new ideas. And we always think, we should have recorded that conversation because that could be helpful to other people, not just us, So that's why we didn't discuss what we're going to say first. We just came up with the topic, and now we'll talk about the topic?
Yeah. So basically, we're going to take the conversations we would have normally had with each other and now have them with hopefully an audience.
Yes. Yes.
So let's start. You can go first for this because I went first for the introductions.
Okay, so you want to know why I'm doing this podcast?
Yeah, why are you personally doing this podcast?
Okay, so I have several reasons. So rather than dominate the conversation, why don't I give one of my reasons? And you can converse with me because I know that the first one you share with me. I just know that already. So, Okay, we want to help others, right? We have learned certain tools. We've had certain experiences, and our experiences are sometimes overlap, but they're different than each other. But we have experiences, and wisdom, let's say, that we've gained that we would like to share with others, and everyone has something to share. And we used to think, oh, who are we to share it? And then they're like, why not? We get, lots of inspiration from others. Why not share ours? We're all supposed to be sharing with each other. So we want to help other people. And through that, I think we will also be helping ourselves, because, the more you kind of talk these things through and you come up with new ideas and new inspiration and stuff like that, I think that's that's also helping us. So we want to help others and ourselves. And I think, you also feel the same way.
Yeah. So we did kind of I think that's the only part of this that we did sort of discuss beforehand before we decided not to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, I think we touched on this part of it, and then we were like, oh, stop.
And I'll just elaborate for myself. I feel like this is an experience that a lot of people have. Otherwise, they wouldn't listen to podcasts. They wouldn't watch, content that other people create. They wouldn't watch just a regular everyday person talk about the things that they do. And everyone, even if they're a regular everyday person, has a very individual, unique experience that is singular, because there's absolutely no one who's exactly like anyone else, who has the exact same circumstances, life experience, combination of personality traits, you know what I mean? So every single person, no matter who they are and what they do, has something to contribute to a broader conversation. And I have found that when I take the time to listen to someone else's perspective, there's always a nugget of wisdom in there that's valuable to me. And it's just them putting themselves out there that allows me to find that wisdom that maybe I wouldn't have found anywhere else. And I feel like there's an infinite amount of combinations of people's energy that, if we put ourselves out there, the people who vibe the most with us will find us and resonate a lot with the way that we have, with the way that we speak, the things that we have to say. And so why not put ourselves out there? Just the same as I come across someone randomly from 500,000 miles away. I don't know. I don't know where that would be. Who has some kind of experience or wisdom that I never would have gotten, unless I clicked on their video or whatever. So yeah, I guess just to say that I think we both realized that there's never too many people to add to the conversation.
I think that's true, because I find everybody interesting. Everybody has a story or an experience, and I find them interesting when they share it. That's the thing. I think that a lot of people are not sharing the things that make them interesting. They don't even think that they are interesting. They don't realize that they're interesting. And I think that's, something that maybe I am also realizing about myself. Well, yeah, I guess there are things that are interesting about me. And even if they're not interesting about me so much as there are things that I have to share that can benefit others.
Yeah, that could unlock some kind of perspective in someone that it's not even what you're intending to impart, but someone else just happens to hear your experience or the way that you say something, and for them it's oh, this is what I needed to hear right now.
Right.
And also because of the fact that I'm a tarot reader and you've done tarot reading as well, there is that element of tarot reading itself kind of relies on the idea that there's some coincidence of events that brings together a meaning out of things that could seemingly be meaningless. How do these cards with images come together to create a story that relates to your life in that moment? How does it relate to what exactly you need to hear? And it's I believe that that's true of anything, whether you're getting a tarot reading, listening to a podcast, reading a book, when you have an intention to learn something, or when you're just minding your business, going about your day, and you hear something that sparks that aha moment. I feel like that's the universe coinciding to bring you what you need to hear. And all that any of us need to do to create that experience for other people is to put ourselves out there and trust that the people who are going to find the wisdom in what we need, what we're saying, will come across us in the perfect time, in the perfect way.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that there might be people out there right now listening to us thinking, yeah, why am I not putting myself out there? And maybe I am more interesting than I think I am, you know? Or maybe I have something. Everyone has something to offer. Really. And I think it took, well, me longer than you, talking about like lifespan, to realize that, you know, wow, yeah, let's do this, you know?
Yeah. So, okay, we basically outlined, you know, that we want to help people, that we find there's value in putting ourselves out there, that we know we're more interesting than we think we are, or that we have things to offer.
And also by helping others, you do help yourself. So, you know, we will grow and learn from this whole experience too.
So are there any other reasons?
Yeah, but would you like to share one since I started that?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of piggybacked off that, but I would say another reason in general is just to get more confident with public speaking, you know, if in as much as we can consider a podcast to be public speaking, just getting more comfortable with speaking off the cuff and allowing other people to see all of that and witness all of that. And I feel like that aligns with a broader mission I have in life to just be more comfortable being me in any kind of setting.
Yeah. I mean, and as we said, I'm your mom, and it's about time I get comfortable in my own skin and being me too, right? You know, so that's this thing, you know that the expression, it takes one to know one. Mm-hmm. I think that's why we learn best from people who have been there, done that, because they know what it's like, right? So there are places I might want to get that people out there can help me and, you know, help me get to. Mm-hmm. And there are people out there who want to get to a place where I've gotten to, or I have the tools to get there, or I have the guidance or whatever. And, you know, same with you. So, yeah. So finally, you know, to get the confidence to, you know, put ourselves out there. Now, I mean, I've done a few things like this before. It's not like I've done nothing and I've been, you know, hiding in a closet, but yeah.
But this is another phase, another step. And I feel like our intentions with this are to be as authentic as possible in terms of just being comfortable, having a conversation, putting our ideas out there, and not overthinking what we're saying, but kind of letting it flow.
Yes, being natural, right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that brings us to, like, I don't know, did we touch on this already? How you and I always have these really meaningful conversations, and they often start from nowhere, right? There's no specific beginning like that. We really, like, we don't plan it or whatever. We have these conversations, and then with the back and forth, we get so many aha moments and so much wisdom, and we're like, oh my God, we should have recorded that conversation because so much stuff came out. And then, so I think this is just a version of that, right? We're going to have these conversations and see what develops, to see what comes out. And we won't even know because, like we said, we're not going to plan out what we say. Yeah. So that's, you know, another reason is to kind of get these great discussions that we end up having recorded and out there for anyone that they might benefit.
And it's just fun.
Yeah.
I think also for fun.
It is fun because
it's a new experience.
Yeah, we have some great conversations where sometimes, you know, you're just kind of in a blah mood, and then we get into this, somehow we get into, you know, some deep discussion, and then kind of like raises your frequency, and the conversation was fun, and we feel good afterwards and stuff. So I feel like, you know, that's, you know.
Energizing.
It's energizing. Yeah. It's energizing, inspiring,
yeah.
Aligning. Right.
So if there's anyone out there who feels the same way when they hear us talk, we might as well share that with them.
Yes.
And I know from my experience that happens to me all the time when I'm listening to other people just be themselves, have a conversation. You know, maybe they're talking about something that's really interesting. Maybe I just like their vibe. Maybe they have some really cool ways of phrasing things. Maybe they're just funny, you know?
Yeah, you just said cool way of phrasing things. It's true, because we might even talk about topics that other people have heard before, but we might say it in a different way that they haven't heard it before, because that's what happens to me. I'll, like click on something that somebody's talking about, and it'll be a topic that I probably read about and listened to and learned and know about. But then I hear someone put it in a different way than I heard it before, and it makes it fresh again for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I love that. I don't mind listening to the same subject over and over again when I get different perspectives and just hear it in a different way. I actually enjoy that, because it kind of like, I don't know, gives you a different way of looking at it, and it kind of like cements it in too more,
Yes.
I mean, that's another reason for doing this, right? The things that we learn, if we start sharing them, we learn them even better.
Yeah.
The best way to learn something is to teach it or talk about it.
Yeah.
Just talk about it. Yeah.
And I thought of another reason as well, to also bond more. And even though we already have these conversations and we're bringing them to the podcast, I also think we had a lot of different ideas about kinds of episodes we could do where maybe we are reading something together and then talking about it. Mm-hmm. And maybe we are bringing something that we learned individually within a week or within whatever span, we go between episodes, and bringing that to each other without having talked about it before, and talking about aspects of our lives that maybe we don't usually have discussions about.
Right.
So I think that this could be just a really fun way for us to also bond as mother and daughter.
And I agree with that 100%, because now we'll have like scheduled discussions. So that's really cool.
This is like our special time.
Our special
space.
Yes.
To have these conversations, especially if we get really busy and we've got other stuff going on, we can't talk
That's
as
true.
much. We know we'll have scheduled time.
Yes.
So,
and even if we're not in the same place, we can, do it via,
virtually.
Yeah, virtually. There is another one that I think is really, really important to the two of us as hypnotists. And that is, this gives clients or prospective clients, potential clients, a place to go to get to know us.
It's true. Yeah.
Okay, because honestly, I know everyone's different. So this is just me, but I'm really not the type to just pick a random anything. But in this case, let's say hypnotist. I am not someone who will randomly pick a hypnotist and just go and feel comfortable and what have you. So this is a great way for people like me, like how I would be, to get to know. Because if someone I trust recommends somebody, I will forego the needing to know the person, But I just don't pick someone randomly. So I think this is a great vehicle for potential clients to go to get to know us. And because don't you want people that come to work with you, especially as a hypnotist, to trust you and feel comfortable, right? I don't want people who don't vibe with me.
Yeah, well, who know our personalities and are comfortable with the kind of people that we are,
Exactly.
That's ideal in a client, you know? Obviously, there's also the factor of when someone feels like they know you a little bit better, there's less of that. I think it can take away some of the like social anxiety that you might have outside of just the anxiety over, I'm going to this hypnotist who's supposed to help me with something that could be potentially sensitive to talk about, or
absolutely
really emotionally charged. It's also the social anxiety factor that I'm familiar with of just having to interact with another human that you've never met before. If at least on some level you feel like you know the energy that you're walking into, I think that can help make it a little bit less daunting.
Yes.
So there's that too.
As someone who kind of likes to have, certain, not even certain details, but some details, right? So a potential client watching us, or even if we get someone who calls us and they haven't seen us, we could even tell them, listen, go listen to our podcast, watch us on YouTube, whatever. And especially if they're unsure, see if you feel comfortable with us. And if you do, fine. If not, find somebody else, or we can recommend somebody else. But yeah, I like to have something I can picture sometimes, right? Like, well, what's a new experience going to be like? I mean, a new experience is fun and exciting, but I do like to have a little bit of information or something I could visualize, right? So if someone is watching this on YouTube, for example, they'll know what we look like. They'll know, and if they're listening, obviously they'll know what we sound like. And if they watch multiple episodes, they'll get a feel for our personalities, and they'll know before they come to us whether they trust us, whether they want to work with us, whether it sounds like, we would vibe with them. So I don't think either one of us wants the wrong clients. And that would just, mainly be someone who doesn't
want to be our client.
Honestly. Doesn't want to be our client. Right. Right. Exactly.
That's really all there is to it. And I feel like the more you know about someone, the more you're able to make an informed decision about whether you want to work with them. So at least on the client's end, Right. So I feel like, yeah, that's true. And also as hypnotists, our voices are very important to our trade. Also, if you're listening and you don't know much about hypnosis, I'm sure we'll talk about it at various points on this podcast. We're not exclusively going to talk about that, but
no,
we'll probably talk about it because it's really cool and really interesting.
Right.
And I definitely can think of some really interesting stories that we can relate about.
Definitely.
It.
And because it's so beneficial. And also, I mean, I would consider hypnosis like my main gig. You know what I mean? Like it's really such a great tool for helping people that I just love it. And so we'll definitely talk about it.
Yeah.
And also if you have any questions about it.
Oh yeah, you can put that in the comments. Well, if you're on YouTube, or I don't know if you can comment on Spotify.
They can email us too.
Yeah.
At info at sunflowerphilosophy.com.
Yes, I'll put that in whatever description box that there is on whatever platforms we're using.
Yes.
I'll put that there.
Yeah, and the website itself, you can also email us through there, and that's sunflowerphilosophy.com. So
yes.
Yeah.
But what I was saying, I don't think I finished my thought. I was saying that our voices are really important as hypnotists. So doing this podcast is twofold. One, on the subject of clients finding us, if someone wants to work with us, them being used to our voice is useful in helping the hypnosis be as effective as possible. So that's a bonus for just anyone who decides that they want to work with us on that level. But on the other side of that, I also just feel like us using our voices and becoming comfortable speaking in different situations, even though we're very comfortable speaking as hypnotists, I feel like it helps just keep us in practice.
A different arena.
Yeah. It helps keep us in practice of speaking and being comfortable speaking and being in flow speaking, which I so often am when I'm doing a hypnosis. I just feel like I'm in flow and things are
right. You kind of flow right along with the client, right? Yeah.
It's nice to also have this space where we can keep that going.
Yes.
And stay in practice. No matter what, if we're like taking a break, we've got all these different outlets to use our voices and to keep ourselves warmed up. So I don't know. I also just enjoy talking sometimes.
Oh, you know what? That kind of reminds me. Yeah. Okay. So when I was thinking about why, for the podcast, right? And then, your mind goes off in tangents. You have your things that we said already or whatever. And then I was like, you know what? I just enjoy meaningful conversation with, 1, 2, maybe 3 other people, like that small group thing.
Yeah.
And then it harkened back to like my teenage days where we spent so much time just hanging out and talking. We didn't have cell phones and social media and all that kind of stuff, right? We didn't have all that stuff. So a lot of our time was just spent hanging out and talking. And I don't feel like I do enough of that anymore. So this is kind of like, oh, you know, mom and daughter hanging out and talking about things that are meaningful to us and hopefully to our listeners.
Yeah. And I think that brings me to what will probably be my last reason for doing this. But that's connecting with other people that I've never connected with before.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I had a similar one that you reminded me of that I forgot about. And I was thinking to create community. Mm-hmm. To create community because... and if anyone is interested in this, again, please comment or email us. Juliana said she'll put the, email information or the website information in the information box and stuff and such if you can't comment. But, I won't get into the details of it now, but, I want to create several different small online groups. So others can also feel part of a community, and I have a few ideas. And if that's something that any of you are interested in, please let us know because, we can do these things in person, but then, we can't reach a lot of people in person. But if doing these groups online, we can have,
Well, yeah, and obviously you're talking about potential future things that you'd like to do, but do you have any specific goals in mind with the community groups that you want to create?
You mean like what we'll do with them?
Yeah, like just some more specific, like why is creating community important to you?
Well, I mean, I think that's a great way to, what I have in mind are small groups, mm-hmm. right? So I feel like that's a great way to reach people more personally, right? Than, this is great if people are listening to us, and I hope they are. But then there are people who want more than just listening. They want to take it further. So if we can have different groups that, focus on maybe different topics or, I have some things in mind. I'm not going to talk about them specifically now, but, if people are interested in that kind of thing, it would be good to know, in advance. So
but for you, what is the idea of creating a community bring to you? What do you think, how do you think that enriches your life on a personal level?
Well, one of the things we said we were doing is we're doing this to help people. And I think that's a great way to help people, again, more personally than even what we're doing right now. Yeah. Actually, I don't know how much this particular topic is helping people. This is more like, oh, let's just introduce ourselves and the why, so people maybe get to know us and why we're doing it. But future podcasts will cover topics that will either be interesting to people or helpful to people or inspiring or what have you.
Yeah. And I feel like things can be interesting and inspiring and helpful to people without even meaning to be.
Right, so, that's true. But the small group thing is about just for the people who are interested in something like that. That's all.
Yeah, no. I just want more detail in terms of what kind of what's your ideal kind of community? What do you want to get out of community?
I think I just told you.
I
think it's a great way to reach people and help them. And also other people can get to know each other.
Yeah.
I've been part of small groups where I've actually made friends and kept in touch with them, friends from other countries and stuff like that. So, people might meet other people and make friends through that also.
That's kind of what I was getting at. Because I feel like everyone has different reasons why they want to be part of a community. Different kinds of roles that community plays in their lives, right? Some people want to feel like they're connected to other people through being the one to help people. Some people want to feel like there are people there that can help them, and also, both at the same time want to feel like there's people that they can bounce ideas off of, that someone else might have a connection for them that they wouldn't have otherwise. Some people are more utilitarian about it. Some people are more I want emotional support, feel like I have people to talk to. Maybe I feel isolated, especially in the world that we live in today. Depending on where you live, of course, and where you've grown up. I feel like, though, the world that we're familiar with, it feels very isolated at times. Everyone is much more in their own little boxes, their own little factions. There's less a feeling of being part of something.
Right.
And so I would say for me, if I want to establish a community, I want to help people feel like they're part of something, but also in a way that feels, I don't know how I want to say it, like in a way that doesn't feel restrictive, because, for example, there are the community groups that you might be able to join that, I'm thinking of like things that are based in certain belief systems and things like that, where it might feel more restrictive, like you have to follow a set of like strict rules and guidelines, and you have to be a certain kind of person to join it. And my vision of a community is something much more broad. Like, maybe we're all here for one particular reason, but you don't have to be any one type of person to be here. You know what I mean? You don't have to be.
I mean, it's going to depend on what the focus of the group is, and if it resonates with someone, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. But it's just, I mean, basically, I was just curious, like, about your reasons for that, because I know mine.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm not sure if everyone listening to us even knows what human design is, but I'm actually designed to, I'm here for other people, right? I'm not here for like a personal experience. I'm actually here for an interpersonal experience. And a lot of how I am built is to help people. So, when I say I want to do these small groups to help people, like that's kind of what I want to, that's why I want to do it. I mean, I think it will be fun too. I mean, I think it will be fun to meet people. I think it'll be fun to interact with people, and it'll definitely be fun. Listen, it's fun for me to help people. Like, I feel great when, a hypnosis client has success and stuff like that. That makes me feel good, because I feel like, oh, I did something good. I did my part, like I'm contributing to positivity in the world, in someone's life.
Yeah, help someone take the next step on their journey, help facilitate something for them that, and honestly, like, one thing that is important when we're working with people in this capacity, I feel like we both agree probably on this, but it's the fact that the client is here and doing the work. It's not like we're the ones we're magically changing their lives. Being here, then we're just part of that journey, and we're playing our role, but like the client is the one who's really doing that work.
Absolutely, 100%.
And it feels really good to be part of that.
It does, right? Oh yeah, right. All right. I'm not at all implying, but I'm glad you clarified that. Yeah, like, it's not like, oh, I'm making everything better, here's my magic wand, you know what I mean? The client participates, but it's like that journey of participation that is fun, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure it's fun for the client to experience the the benefit of like hypnosis, or like a series of coaching sessions and what have you. But it's also fun for me to see that growth in them, and it always helps me too.
Yeah.
I mean, I grow too with every client and experience and stuff.
Yeah.
You always learn stuff from everybody. So it's
you grow
just
in
great.
your practice, but then also in watching someone else's journey, sometimes that tells you something about your own life you didn't even know that maybe you weren't even asking for that information, but it kind of presents itself to you through someone else's.
That's a really
journey.
good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
And that's why it's really fun and exciting. And I think that's another reason why creating community, at some point through this platform potentially, or in some way in our lives, is important, because the more connection you have with other people, the more avenues of connection, the more potential you have for those really cool experiences where you've helped someone, you've changed someone's life, they've changed yours.
Yep.
It's just like, that's what life's all about, kind
of. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So.
I did think of something else.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people are looking for content that is done by people, because AI just grew so quickly that, it's kind of like every video I'm watching or anything I'm listening to, I'm like, is this AI? And AI has gotten really good at creating people and all that kind of stuff. So, and I see a lot of comments like, oh, this is just AI. And so people are not appreciating that.
Yeah. And I feel like, I don't even know at this point. You know, there's times when you can kind of see or tell like the voice is off or the imagery, like there's an uncanny valley, but some things blur the line, and it's just it's one of those things where it's like maybe there was someone behind the creation process who put a lot of thought into it, but you don't know that,
right? And
you don't
and
know how much,
yes,
yeah,
and I'm actually not even saying that I don't listen to any AI content or I find it wrong or bad. I've actually enjoyed some, but I notice a lot of people like commenting and things like that they don't care for it. They'd rather watch people. And AI has its time and place, and I think it's great. I just don't think it should I don't think it should replace personal.
No.
And another reason for the groups too, right?
Yeah.
To
have that person-to-person contact where you know you're speaking to another person.
And that person's responding to you.
And it's real and organic.
Yes.
And I feel like, yeah, for me, I'm not going to make any blanket statements about AI one way or another because I know that there's so much nuance and new things that are introduced into society.
Absolutely.
At the same time, I definitely have my reservations about it, and I definitely do not want AI content to replace like the organic human interactions. That's what I come to videos and podcasts for. Is the people who are creating these things. There's an energy. There's an intrigue to the fact that these are no matter whether I agree with the thoughts that are being expressed or not, like the fact that it's a real human doing it from their own like life experience is interesting to me. That's what makes it interesting.
You know, it's funny. I have certain people that I might listen to even if I don't necessarily think that their content is that good or whatever. For example, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, you know, not throwing the baby out with bathwater.
Yeah. You know, one of my favorite expressions.
Mine too.
I wouldn't even say favorite, maybe overused.
Most used. Yeah.
But anyway, like a particular tarot reader. Actually, there's more than one of those that I don't even necessarily vibe with the message per se or whatever, but I like the personality or I like the voice, and so I listen to them anyway. You know what I mean?
There's something about sharing,
and they're not
space.
saying and they're not like saying negative things and dooming me or whatever with their predictions or their whatever. I just enjoy their vibe, and I'm interested in them. And sometimes they talk about personal stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
And sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes it's like the energy.
Yes, the energy of the person.
It's what you need in that moment. And again, it's like there's something to be said for just putting your energy out there and trusting that there's people out there who are going to receive it, who need it, who want it,
right,
who are going to feel it.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I think for me, like doing this podcast is when we talk about creating community, it's kind of like, okay, it doesn't need to be a gigantic, huge community. Mm-hmm. It's more like the right people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like getting, drawing the right people who are interested in, what we do, what we have to say. Maybe people who do, want to be clients or what have you, or want to join groups, or just want to listen to us. Or just listen. That's fine. However you want to engage.
Yes. And do you have anything else to add?
I don't think so. I did make I jotted down like a little list so I wouldn't forget topics, but I haven't looked at the list since we started.
Do you want to look at the list?
Okay. Should I look at my little list back here? I wrote it down. I don't even know if I can see because it's like the light's over there, but it's on the back of my puzzle calendar.
I think we've said like more than enough. So
I do too.
If you don't have anything, but if there's anything interesting,
let's see. Nope, got it. Huh? We got everything.
All right. Cool. So I guess we'll just close this out, and I'll just say thanks so much if you listened this far. We really appreciate your time and energy, and if you have any questions, like we said, you could comment or email us. I'll put the information to contact us in the descriptions, and wherever you're listening, we should be available on YouTube and Spotify at the very least, maybe other platforms.
Well, if
see.
someone's on another platform and they hear us,
And
they'll know.
Then you'll know, yeah.
Then you'll know. I will just say, if you want to support us in just a nice free way, please like, subscribe, comment, and and also if you want to email us or check out our website, sunflowerphilosophy.com.
Yes. And we'll have a lot more interesting conversations coming your way.
Yes, even more interesting than this, because
Yeah.
This was kind of just why are we doing this? But
are
I hope
we?
you
What's
I hope you
going
found
on?
it different. I hope you found it interesting.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Thanks again for listening.
Over and out.